what I wanted to do, so I've had this question probably this week alone, probably about 6-7 times in the last 6 or 7 days. Jeffrey, this is our customer we're working on. Hope you don't mind. So the question is, how do we size a new house, new construction, new move-in, whatever, right? That question gets brought up all the time. And honestly, I feel like there really isn't a correct answer to it. There's no way of knowing what a customer is going to do because so someone asked, I think it was on Dana's GroupMe, but someone asked, I heard 3.32 and then I've heard ×5, I've heard ×7 as far as like square footage goes and things like that. So you want to check with the local utility. The utility you're dealing with, that is the first thing you want to research, you want to check with dealing with new construction, okay? Because they will have guidelines in there based on square footage, based on the area, based on this, based on that. Because me and you could sit there and spitball, we can spitball on WhatsApp, we can all get on a Zoom and try to figure this out. But at the end of the day, if they only allow a 6 kilowatt based on square footage, okay, then we're only building a 6 kilowatt, right? So that is the first thing that I would recommend you do, is research what utility you're working with and what they allow. A simple Google will figure that out, or even calling their main office, their customer service office, will figure that out. It literally takes a few minutes just to figure that out. If they don't really have strict guidelines and they're pretty open with how you build it and everything, then from there, obviously you can base it off square footage. PG&E says 3.32. Charles Thompson's video says between 5 and 7, depending on if there's an electric vehicle or not. You can do that. But who asked me today? I think Richard's not even on here, but I think Richard actually asked me yesterday or the day before about a friend that's moving in a house, new construction, all that good stuff. At the end of the day, what I tell people is first look at the design. So this is a deal that myself and Jeffrey are working on, and this is a customer's house. Honestly, they only have room for 25 panels of good solar area, right? At the end of the day, we can sit here and do math and we can spitball and oh, they have electric vehicle, they don't have electric vehicle. Oh, they have an AC, they don't have an AC, they have 5 kids, they have 0 kids, they're retired, they're working full-time, whatever. We can sit there and figure all that stuff out, put it in a spreadsheet and spitball this, right? But if this customer can only fit 25 panels in their good area, right? In this case, it's Southwest and Southeast, I'm only going to pitch 25 panels. I'm not even going to attempt to, well, there's a maybe that you need this whole space or this whole, no. I'm not even going to talk about the North and the East. So first things first, well, second thing, I guess, after checking with the utility, second thing is look at the roof. Try to get pictures of the new construction, try to look at the roof, whatever you can, and just really see what actually works for the house. If it's this big, beautiful house that fits 50 panels south facing, okay, then let's sit there and talk and figure out how much people live in the house and total square footage and if they have an EV. But if it's a house like this, me and Jeffrey both agreed, like, yeah, there's no point of us to pitch 20 panels or 30 panels. There's only 25 panels of good space on this roof. Does that make sense? Does anyone have any feedback? Any questions? Want me to expand on anything?
What if 25 is too much?
Then you have that conversation with your customer. So I'm saying this is after, you confirm maybe with the utility. Maybe the utility will allow 40 panels. That doesn't mean that's what the customer needs, right? But honestly, Mr. Customer, as your professional, as your consultant, I'm only going to utilize the Southwest and the Southeast portion of your home, or the South and the West if it's completely center or whatever. Then, hey, I will only use that. And
so maybe kind of go into detail with that example you made of, okay, they have the 50 panels space,
yep,
and it's optimal. Okay, now yep, what does that conversation look like to narrow it down to what they need?
Okay, then let's look at square footage and multiply that by 5 and then work from there. Are they getting electric vehicle or are they not? Electric vehicle minimum, if they're driving 10,000 miles a year, they need about 3,000 kilowatt hours a year. So okay, multiply that by 5, it's 3,000 square foot. So we were allowed 15,000 units or kilowatt hours a year. So build that out, 10, 12 kilowatt to produce that amount. And then, okay, you want electric vehicle? Okay, so that's 18,000. But at the end of the day as well, If the utility will only allow, 12,000 units, then you have that. So yeah, the biggest thing that we run into is the utility. Myself and Matt just ran into that, where we try to build at 8 kilowatt and the utility said, hey, you can only do a 6. So okay, well, we just wasted our time, with the customer building out this 8 kilowatt system, we can only do a 6. So yeah. So main thing, utility. Second thing, roof space. And then third thing, if you get past those two and you still have a lot of wiggle room, look at square footage, look at the family size, look at if they're getting EV or not. And then kind of past all that, I would still advise to have that conversation of, I've been doing this X amount of years, I've been doing this X amount of months. There is no way to get this 100% right, because I cannot, we can't figure out what you're going to do or how you're going to consume energy over the next 12 months. It's impossible for me to figure out. It's honestly impossible for you to figure out, Mr. Customer. So what I can do is I can give you a budget in this situation of 15,741 kilowatt hours to work with, similar to gas or mileage or whatever. If you exceed that, that's out of your pocket through the utility. If you underuse that, then you get reimbursed through the utility if they have net metering. So, but I will give you a budget of 15,741 to work with. Something like that. Does that make sense? So we don't want to promise, we don't want to under promise, or we don't want to over promise and under deliver on our customers, right? So have those tough conversations. If you guys have been on a Zoom with me, talking to a customer, I have tough conversations. Sometimes they don't like it, but I'm not going to lie to them and give them, and over promise anything. So make sense? Yep. Cool. All right. My little spiel is done.